Today we wrap up our Devils and Dicks triple feature with Jean-Jacques Annaud's medieval monk murder mystery. The friars are repressed, but their hairdos are blessed. And God help us, James Bond is giving Sherlock Holmes as we sin our way through a secret library labyrinth to meet a joy-hating holy man in The Name of the Rose.
The haircuts are blessed.
You're listening to How I Met Your Monster, a podcast that explores the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. My name's Zach.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Casey.
And together we dive into the world of horror to find out how filmmakers have introduced us to our favorite monsters time and time again. This is How I Met Your Monster.
Welcome to How I Met Your Monster, the show where we discuss the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. Things are a little different today. Usually this is the part of the show where Zach opens the gates to our beautiful little podcast and leads us into the holy, I don't know, afterlife of, I don't know.
Are you trying to make it fit with the movie?
Yeah, I was trying. This is where Zach usually runs the show, and unfortunately we are without our brother, our holy brother Zach.
Brother Zach.
He's on sabbatical. He's traveling through Europe, righting the wrongs that Satan has laid on this good green earth.
Going to read some moldy books in a labyrinth.
Just don't eat
somewhere.
The ink. It's bad. The ink has gone bad.
Yeah. A few other things have gone bad too.
Yeah. I made a mistake, Zach. I made a mistake. I should not have picked this way. I can own up to that.
At least you're willing to admit it. Yeah.
Yeah. There are some, I wouldn't even say there's logic issues with this movie. I think there are issues with the way that I don't know, like, I think it's more of a me issue. Like, I just am too not
I don't think
smart.
So.
No? Okay.
I don't think it was you.
Okay.
It when it started, it was very straightforward. And then all of a sudden it just took a turn, and I have no idea what happened after that.
Okay, so I don't feel as bad. Maybe it is a movie issue. We're not here to criticize, but we are here to, I don't know,
we're gonna try to figure it out
this way. Yeah, exactly. If we're trying to figure something out and solve a mystery as the characters do, and we can't do it, maybe it's not us.
Right.
But before we get into that, I do just want to get some fun stuff out of the way. You can follow and subscribe and listen to our show anywhere you listen to podcasts. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, all that good stuff. We're also on YouTube. So if you like more of a visual, check us out there. It's pretty sweet. We're a handsome trio. And if you want to go even further, if you are one of those horror movie maniacs who just can never get enough, check us out on Patreon. For just $3, you get monthly commentary episodes and a whole back catalog of older episodes. Basically pays for itself. We made that comment once about how it's the cost of a cup of coffee. It's actually cheaper than a cup of coffee.
It's a lot cheaper than a cup of coffee.
A lot cheaper than a cup of coffee.
Yeah. And
also, fun fact, you can actually join and follow us on Patreon without paying for anything. If you just kind of want to like a soft launch, as it were, you can soft launch your way into the How I Met Your Monster Patreon and then decide for yourself if you want to give it a go. If you're not loving it, leave it. If you're loving it, join us as the Deadites once so delicately stated to their victims. Yeah, and with that, let's just get into it, you guys. This is a movie that is, like we mentioned, it's the third entry in our Devils and Dicks triple feature, which is to say it is a movie that deals with religion, and it has its foot in kind of demonology in some respect, at least maybe from the POV of some of its characters. But it's also a procedural thriller. So we are witnessing people in medieval times put together. Yeah, like they're trying to figure out a murder, essentially. But it's a murder that is part of a religious conspiracy. So
yeah, I know that it was. I know that it was true to the times, but like, could you have picked a haircut that made me at least take this movie a little bit seriously? Because I literally laughed for like the first half an hour.
Well, the thing is like, you know, we're all familiar with the friar cut. you know, it's bald on top, and you have like a little ring of fire around.
You got the horseshoe.
Yeah, the horseshoe. But there's something about the way that the haircut is displayed in this movie.
They tried to keep
like,
it fresh, and they tried to give everybody their own like style. Like the one guy, my favorite guy, what was his name here? Malakia? I don't know how they pronounced it. But he had like the crackhead one. Like it was straight out to the sides. And then there was
one
like
guy's just doing bangs. The one guy is like, they're all emphasizing like different.
They let everybody have their own hairdo.
Which is funny because this is why we're now seeing like, this is why monks and holy people, they're very much against vanity. I don't think it's because it's an assault to God. I think it's the fact that they don't, you know, like it's like I grew up going to a Catholic school and we wore uniforms and everyone was like, well, yeah, uniformity kind of keeps everyone in check, you know, by implementing vanity, it creates, you know, contention and all that, you know, what have you. And I think we're seeing it now in this movie, like the ramifications of breaking that uniform order. It's just, it doesn't hit.
I was surprised even that Sean Connery had it. And then with Christian Slater, I was like, oh, he doesn't. And then he turned around and I was like, oh, he's getting there.
Well, that's funny. That's a testament to Sean Connery because for some reason my brain like didn't, I don't know. I guess it looked good on him. It didn't stand out.
Well, his was kind of tame, I think, comparatively. I think they kind of kept his like, you know what? We're not going to go like really wild with yours.
Yeah, the hair and makeup department was like, we have some looks. And he was like, no, this is that. I'm okay. But before we go any further into the hairdos and don'ts of this movie, let's set it up. Let's give you some facts. It was directed, as I mentioned, by Jean-Jacques Annaud. It was in 1986. It's based on a novel by Umberto Eco. Essentially the same thing, medieval murder mystery. That's essentially kind of highlighting some of the darker elements of the church, especially in the medieval times. Sean Connery is playing the character William of Baskerville.
Yeah.
And you eagle-eyed, well, what's the eagle-eyed equivalent of audio? You eagle-eared, fox-eared? I don't know.
Vulcan? They can hear really well, right?
Vulcan-eared. All you know, for all you Vulcan-eared listeners out there, and anyone who is also a fan of murder mysteries, may have noticed that his name is kind of a reference to Sherlock Holmes. It actually is directly referenced.
Okay.
Baskerville, like the title, The Hounds of Baskerville.
Yeah, I forgot. I was like, that's very familiar, but then I couldn't realize what. And you know, I'm not a Sherlock Holmes fan. However, I am a great mouse detective fan.
Yes.
And so that's what
it works just as well. It still applies. I mean, there's literally a point where they arrive at the church because the whole conceit is that they go to the church and they have to solve a mystery. He even has his little sidekick, Christian Slater, who is his Watson. And at one point he even says, when I was going to call him Watson, when Christian Slater asks a question, his response is it's elementary.
Oh yeah,
which is of course that's Sherlock Holmes's like catchphrase, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so the IMDb synopsis for this movie is as follows. An intellectually nonconformist friar investigates a series of mysterious deaths in an isolated abbey.
It's a pretty good one.
I actually feel like that's decent for...
Without giving all of the everything else away, doesn't make any sense.
I'm surprised they don't mention the hair or the homosexuality. Or I guess it's implied.
Yeah. So... yes, it is the gayest movie we've ever covered, for sure.
Yeah, like I was not expecting that. Like there are so many moments where I was like, what are they trying to say? Like it must just be repression. And I think by the end it's that. But like there's a moment where he says something about how, I don't know. We'll get into it because it's like, so I feel like if we derail too much early on, like this movie will There's no coming back. It's so intense.
Yes. Will we ever be on the rails? Yeah.
I don't know. I was like looking at, like, I wrote down quotes that some of the priests said about like man on man relationships. Mm-hmm. But now I'm reading them and I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even understand.
Well, they talk about them a lot for being in a group of people that are, first of all, not supposed to be gay. Second of all, supposed to be celibate anyway.
Which is like the whole irony of priesthood, I think, is that we're put on this planet to, like, sex is just part of being a human. It's actually the most important part because it creates life. Yeah, we got to keep making God's army. Yeah, exactly. Just saving one soul after the next.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, priests who are supposed to be the representatives of this belief system are told that it is a sin. So it's just that it's, obviously this movie comes down to using religion as power. And that is one of the many hypocrisies, I suppose, that kind of are kind of just designed. I've always sought to just sort of constantly keep people in check. Everything does kind of contradict it, but like the people in charge kind of use the contradiction. They justify it and they validate it. And I feel like it just, it's just another form of repression and control.
It makes me wonder about nuns, though.
In what way?
Like, are they scissoring and shit, or?
Yeah, we need.
Because I feel like, men, I mean, everybody sucks, right? But men, I think, are a little worse than women. I'm not a man hater, but,
history has proven that to be the case.
Right.
Because men have always been given a place of power and authority, feigned authority.
Yeah. So I wonder if, like, the nuns are actually sticking to what they're supposed to be doing, or if they are actually just little sinful, scissoring
slutty
lesbians.
Witches.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's a witch in this movie. If you don't have the friar haircut and you laugh, you're a witch.
Yeah.
God, this movie. First of all, I should say this was my choice for our triple feature. And though I'm not going to apologize for, I love watching a new movie. It's a good excuse. I will admit defeat. Like I turned to Cody, my husband, after watching this, and I was like, I made a mistake. Like
you can't win them all,
No, you can't win them all. I think the marks I have against me on this show are this, House 2.
For sure. Sorry.
And I'm sure there's another one, but those are the two that, like, this is like my legacy now.
But I didn't even hate this movie though, because it was so outlandish. It was very entertaining. Yeah. I will just say that I did not understand a whole lot.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's also we get Ron Perlman, who is a fan favorite of our show. We love Ron.
Yeah.
It does sometimes feel like
facial prosthetics. The worst.
Which is crazy because Ron Perlman has such unique features.
Why
would you add to it?
Dude, yeah. I mean, there are other first of all, you can see all of the edges and stuff on his nose prosthetic. And then there's that one monk that has those huge yellow beaver teeth that are clearly just teeth that are sitting on top of his other teeth. And then at the end, the guy, jumping ahead, the guy who's getting going to be burned with them or whatever. Oh, yeah. He also has that giant prosthetic nose on. For what reason? I don't understand. Yeah. He's just a guy.
Noses in this movie were so bizarre. There were so many physical features where there's already so much to digest, even just in the complexity of the mystery itself, because it's not a traditional murder mystery.
Yeah.
So then it's it feels a lot like, and I think we've probably mentioned this before, but the idea of a hat on a hat.
Yeah.
Even to the point where, and maybe this was deliberate, but I was starting to get the impression, just by the way that a lot of the monks were designed, that there was some form of inbreeding going on. Even the way they behave. That's the thing. We need a sequel with
they're having
nuns.
Butt babies. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's what is it? Mother Mary didn't need to.
Oh, yeah.
procreate
Immaculate
to-
Conception.
Immaculate Conception.
Hey.
Immaculate buttception.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on there. We don't know.
Yeah. So,
They did.
yes. So at the end of the day, it's a complex movie. It's not I was going to say it's not a traditional horror movie, but I would go so far as to say it's not a horror movie.
No,
but it
and it
deals
could
with
have
some horrific
been.
things.
It could have been so dark.
Yes.
There
are
like
pockets of darkness in this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we're in a labyrinth for 20 minutes looking for a book.
And something though that I think is important too is this is an adaptation of a book. So that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
Probably made a lot of sense in the book. You know what I mean? Like the book may have been great, but when you translate that.
I think they went all in on the fact that they had Sean Connery and F. Murray Abraham. And they were like, that's enough of a distract. Between that and the haircuts, the audience is going to be so distracted.
Yeah, they're not going to care about what's going on.
But yeah, it's not a bad movie. I mean, it's beautiful to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I think the acting is great. I love what the movie's trying to do, kind of like poke a hole or at least like reveal the holes that have already been poked in the church. It's just, it's not as traditional as the demonic procedural thrillers that we've been discussing thus far. So
yeah, I mean, it's no Exorcist 3 or 7, that's for sure.
No. And this is again my fault. I am here. This episode is essentially like, imagine it like this. Casey and I, and this is true. Casey and I are actually in a confessional right now. And we're like squeezing in and there's not a lot of room for two people. Mm-hmm. And we're just confessing my sins at least.
Yeah.
Casey's just confessing because technically she is an accomplice to this. Just by proxy.
We could have done Fallen, but you wanted to. It's okay.
Well, there was a thing where I was like, you guys chose such great picks, and they were like the iconic quintessential demonic procedural thrillers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out about this movie, and I was like, and I saw the trailer, and if you've seen the trailer, it is kind of presented as a very dark, horrific movie. And I was like, well, that would be fun to kind of like go back in time. I believe this is our first medieval movie. Oh, no, I guess we did Army of Darkness. Well, that was our first medieval horror movie. This is our first medieval.
I don't know, though. Army of Darkness is also. I mean,
we have yet to do a true medieval horror movie.
Yeah.
But I will say, even though it's technically not a horror movie, it is technically so scary that someone's teeth literally chatter in this movie. So I think there's something to be said there.
Yeah.
Oh, Casey, I forgot to ask. Have you ever seen this movie?
It's probably going to surprise you, Danny, but I haven't.
Yeah. I have this. I do like a monthly rewatch.
I still haven't really watched it.
This was probably like, this is our fever dream episode. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong because we're missing Zach, who is our technical like advisor. Basically, he runs the show.
On track.
And on top of that, we're doing a movie that Casey and I struggled with.
Yes, and I am always falling asleep during movies, but I fell asleep a lot during this movie and still tried to hang on. And there was a lot of things that I missed and didn't understand. So we'll see what happens.
Well, God help us. Let's head to supercuts in the 14th century. Let's start talking about The Name of the Rose. Okay, before we jump into the movie and meeting some monsters, we have 5 official monster reveals. It's pretty low, but this was a very non-traditional movie. So deciding on like what constituted as a monster was something that Casey and I just had to align on.
Yeah, which was just when people die, when people die, when we meet someone, but yeah, it's not not traditional at all in the sense of what we do on the show. Even 7 was a little bit different because we just kind of covered the murders, but this is even more obscure than that, I think. So,
because to be fair, I am not entirely confident I know who the bad guy is in this movie.
I don't. I don't. I'm just gonna say you're not sure. I have no idea.
Like, I
was
have
it a person?
General
was
idea.
It a book? I don't know.
I think it was both.
Okay.
But yeah, there are moments. Oh, this movie broke me so much. So Casey and I are jumping on a horse. We are traveling back in time to the year 1327.
That's the horse.
I was like, what is happening? You've probably heard the clip clopping of the horse. We are arriving at the Abbey, which I can only assume is something to do with roses. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But no, it's 1327. We've just arrived because we have been summoned to solve a murder mystery. That is how we meet our leads, William of Baskerville and Christian Slater.
Adso,
thank you.
Yeah. And instead of William of Baskerville, I'm going with Brother Billy.
Brother Billy and the Slater, in the slate.
Slater.
But yeah, basically there's a lot of the movie is, it's not a traditional horror movie. So a lot of it is just sort of Billy rather, questioning people, kind of sussing out the setting, understanding what happened. There was a death. They think it's murder. They even go so far as to say they think it's the devil. So a lot of this movie is essentially that. It's characters, them trying to, like, the majority of the characters trying to prove that it was the Antichrist or the devil at play. And Billy and Watson are trying to just like prove otherwise. They're trying to bring some logic into it. And it should be worth noting that these two particular friars who are our leads they're Franciscan monks. So they follow a very different order. One might say a more liberal, low, like laid back in comparison to this particular abbey, which is like, they go so far as to say like laughing is a sin. And that, of course, is something that comes back as like the spoiler alert, the motive essentially of this movie, of the killer.
What a weird movie.
Yeah. So really strange. I don't even think it's worth kind of getting into the minutia of like the plot, because that's essentially it. And then the big thing is that we're just kind of peeking into the window of what repression looks like in this sort of setting. Like, it's very, obviously with the church, it's homosexuality is a sin, but I don't think I've seen a porno that included more men kissing.
I know. I was
any excuse they got. They were like, should we do it? Like,
I was going to say, I've watched gay porn before and this is the gayest thing I've ever seen. So, yeah,
it's the gay. Yeah. I mean, under all those robes, these guys are naked. So,
ew, dude, they probably fucking smell so bad.
Oh, it's just
and
like
their teeth. Ugh.
I will watch shows like Game of Thrones, or I'll watch like older movies, and I can find a way to romanticize what it was like living back then. Yeah. This movie stripped that romance from me.
For sure.
Like, everything is just disgusting.
But I guess that's, that's not a bad thing either.
Like, maybe I need to close the book on romanticizing medieval culture.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, in Game of Thrones, everybody still has like straight white teeth. You know what I mean? And
so, they've beautified it.
Yeah. And in this, their teeth are rotting out of their skull. So.
But there is a lot of setup there is the repression. And then there's just kind of the way that the church, like the role of the church, it is less about, we think of the way that the modern church kind of represents itself, and it's to feed the hungry and to help the sick and to spread love and yada, yada, yada. This one, we literally see them throwing scraps out to the destitute villagers
down a hill.
Because in their way, they've rationalized it, like
Yeah.
suffering is part of, belief and all that jazz.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is at the end, but one of the quotes that I remember was, "Without fear, there is no faith," or "there can be no faith," or whatever, like, which is just, oh my God.
Yep. Yeah, this movie is just, and maybe you're right. It's like important to kind of just set it up, like what the big reveal is that there's this whole thing about we don't like laughter. And he basically, he does what you said, like he explains it in the end. Like if you laugh, then that means you don't have fear. And if you don't have fear, you don't have fear of the devil. If you don't have the devil, then why do we have God in the first place? And then if we don't have God, we can't hold this power over you.
It's so sad.
To control you. It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Thankfully, this is one of those movies where like the villains are, they get their comeuppance.
Yes.
But it's an interesting little movie. There's an interesting thing though. So kind of contrasting what the church is kind of presenting itself as. There is a moment, and I think it might be Billy who says this, but he basically says like, the more you know, the sadder you become because you have a stronger understanding of like real life horrors.
Yeah.
So, and there's so many moments in this movie where they kind of shit on Billy for, they say they're like, you idolize reason. Like what an insane thing to say when you think about it, like idolize reason as though it's
not
we should frown upon.
You're not, right. As if you're not supposed to be reasonable.
Yep. And then later I quoted it. They said something about how he trusts in the prophetic he should trust in the prophetic properties of his heart. So it's this idea of faith, like faith is blind, acceptance.
Well, even, growing up, I went to church because I wanted to. My mom isn't really religious. She didn't care what we did, and I went to the youth group because I wanted to, and my friends all went.
Mm-hmm.
But I still remember like asking questions, and my church was cool. Like I don't, they weren't horrible, and I'm still friends with like my pastor's wife and shit now.
Mm-hmm.
But they were very like, I'd ask questions and they'd be like, well, we don't know, but that's the beautiful thing of it. You just accept it. And I was like, okay. Like what does that even mean?
Well, it's frustrating because like in concept, in theory, like the idea of faith I can see give someone relief because it's like, hey, nature is crazy. But that whole like sensibility is weaponized, and I don't know.
I was told, I'm an atheist now, and just last weekend I was with a group of people and we were talking about things, and this woman that I was talking to wasn't necessarily religious. She was more like spiritual, but I was like, yeah, I don't believe in anything. And she was like, that's really sad. And I was like, it's not though. Like, I don't care, like it doesn't bother me. And then she admitted, she's like, I just need something. I just need to know that there's something else. And I was like, oh, I don't, like.
Well, that's the thing is like, believe, and I'm kind of like preaching to the choir and saying what has been said to death, but like, believe whatever you want to be. The second you use it in any form of control.
Yeah.
And I don't, what do you do? It's like, I don't know. It's just so obviously, it's such obvious bullshit that it's so frustrating. It comes back to that quote that we just said about like, the more you know, like the sadder everything seems because you're like, no, this is all fucking fake. It's just fake. Like, it's not to say, I'm not sitting here saying there's no God.
Right.
Maybe there is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there is. I bet I can explain a lot of things. I go, oh, that makes sense. There's a higher power.
Yeah.
But the second you fucking commodify it and you chastise people and you use it as a way to pun it, fuck the fuck off. Like, I am so sorry.
Fuck off.
I love actually that this is the episode that Casey and I are doing because we're both two queer people.
Yeah.
And you get the queers riled up about a movie about the church that is killing people because they're so repressed. Like,
yeah. And they're all actually queer.
And they're all
obviously
so horny. Like,
yes,
guys, like the guy's literally whipping himself. I'm like,
oh,
honey.
So that's actually, do you know what that is? That's called flagellants.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a religious thing where they would punish themselves. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's his kink though.
I mean, it might be.
Secretly, he's like,
it might be. Was that the bald guy?
Yeah.
Was that the Berenger or whatever?
Yes.
Was he? See, here's the thing. Was he a eunuch or not? I just assumed because every other thing, eunuchs are always bald. I don't know if there's actually any correlation.
That's a great question.
But they never said.
Oh, yeah.
So,
no,
unless they did and I missed it.
Yeah, God forbid they give us some information in this movie that isn't all just like so abstract and I don't know. It's fine. I think I'm mad because I feel dumb after watching this movie.
No, but you shouldn't. It's all right.
Thank you.
Do you want to get into our first monster reveal?
I think we should. Let's see, where are we? So our first monster reveal is, so we obviously have the off-screen death earlier. That's the reason why these detectives, these dicks, these holy dicks are here. But our first reveal comes in the form of a murder. We have the victim it's actually pretty graphic. Like, this is where I was like, I feel like we're onto something. If this movie commits to this and just keeps getting progressively darker. I was
thinking the same thing.
Yeah, like he's literally in a legit bloodbath. Like, it's like this vat of blood upside down. His legs are spread.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up.
Like, it's a huge vat full of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And someone mentions how it's a sign of the prophecy of the apocalypse. So we're like setting a lot of groundwork for this religiously infused murder mystery to the degree that it's like potentially signaling the end of times.
Yeah. This was really interesting to me. Not interesting, but like when they pulled him out of there and all that stuff, it was so funny going from watching Seven with the procedural part of it, you know what I mean? To this, where they're just like dunking their hands in this vat of blood and pulling this guy out. And they're just like throwing blood everywhere and touching everything. And you know what I mean?
They're like, okay, first thing, what should we do? Billy's like, well, first move the body.
Yep. It's like, move the body for sure. Doesn't matter what
everyone
is going
touch
on.
everything. Quick.
Yep. Walk through everything, whatever.
So we've set up the fact that there's a murder mystery. So obviously it's now adding suspicion. Now the idea of this being an accidental death is out the window. Yeah. Which is ironic because I think the first death, which we see later, is a guy jumping out the window.
Yeah. Yeah. And so a lot happens between the first and the second one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He finds out that there's something to do with, there's a lot of secrecy surrounding the library, which I get is like, when you think about it, like a library is a resource of history and fact, and just in general, like a discussion of things outside of whatever's being preached or taught in this specific type of setting, this religious setting, this repressed religious setting. Mm-hmm. So Billy and Watson basically make it their it's like their whole.
No one watched the movie anyway, so we can call them whatever
you don't know. You don't even know what we're talking about. Like, just accept it. But they kind of make it the case that like they need to find the books. Like, what's going on with the secrecy? Like, what is being hidden? So they make it they're like, hey, instead of finding the killer, we need to find the library.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of like fun moments of like literally like they discover invisible ink, like someone's like messages are being sent, like the truth is trying to surface, and they just it's a process of kind of going as deep as they can while under like the watchful eye of this of all of these holy men.
We meet like Salvatore, right? Is Ron Perlman's character,
Ron Perlman,
who is, I don't know, the Quasimodo of this movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he was kind of like being used as a pawn, like a scapegoat. But I don't know. I guess I just struggled with like who the character was.
Yeah, I don't know. And the girl too. I don't understand. I mean, I guess she was there because they were all trading sex for food with her or something.
Yeah. And like, I understand, like, especially these days, like they needed someone to blame. So it's like, let's blame someone or multiple people who kind of are the usual suspects. You know, they literally are like, she's a witch. And because she was like standing near a black cat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, she's the only woman there. And then Ron Perlman, I don't know what, he was a hunchback.
He's just like someone who can't think for himself.
Yeah. But he's also like physically deformed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's easy to point a finger at him.
Right.
And then you have the third guy who's just, I don't know, like the layman, like the everyman. Like we need to show like we're also like you're also at risk of dying if you're just like a fellow monk.
Yeah. Well, he ended up being the old French kind of monk or whatever. The old monk that didn't believe in. He burned churches and stuff or something.
Yeah. He said he likes fine dining and like relishing in like the pleasures of life, but also is a heretic because.
Yes.
This movie needed to be like a two-parter because they condense quite a bit into.
Yeah, it should have been like a TV, like a Langolier situation or like an It situation,
Langolier situation.
Listen, I know it
ends with them jumping into a freeze frame.
I just mean that it's 2 or 3 nights,
like a TV special event.
Yeah. And, Stephen King had so many of those. Storm of the Century, whatever.
But truly, though, because there's so much to unpack and it is an interesting movie. Like, I'm all about it. Like, yeah, let's like put like the church on blast so we can talk about it.
I agree.
But it was just, there's so much going on that it's hard to just digest it all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Yeah, we just, at this point, a lot of the movie, we may be sort of like jumping around, but it is just sort of the two detectives just diving deeper. And we're also kind of, the movie doubles down and triples down on the themes and the repression. So we're just kind of like reminding us like, oh yeah, by the way, remember, like it sucks to be around during these times.
Yeah. Sure does.
Christian Slater has sex with the local woman.
He falls in love, which is.
Yeah, he falls in love.
Whatever.
And there's this whole conversation about like what love is and, the love of Christ and the love of, wanting to have sex and like these very natural urges. So there's obviously like they're putting hypocrisy front and center. And even Billy Baskerville is like kind of sees it. He's like, I don't know. Like at the end of the movie, our narrator, who is Christian Slater as an old man, is like, I'm sure God forgave him, when he got to the pearly gates for like, because he was such an inquisitive person that he naturally like kind of broke the code a little bit, the religious order.
Billy does slut shame her though.
Oh, does he?
He says something about like her trading food for sex. And then he says, well, if the man were young and beautiful, she probably would have just fucked him for free.
Jesus. Yeah, and let her, you fucking asshole. Like, Jesus.
You guys are all fucking each other.
Yeah, they're all so jealous and like, you're not, like, all they do is talk about not having sex. It's like, that means you want to have sex. Like, just do it. So anyways, yeah, there's just a lot of mystery buildup, yada, yada, yada. More Franciscan monks show up at the Abbey, really trying to like drive the point home that it's the devil. William is like, no, you mentioned Brother Malakia.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Riff Raff.
Yeah.
He came in and I was like,
I like
see this character.
For sure.
He's the Riff Raff of the church, the medieval church.
I love it.
That's funny. All right, so let's jump into our second reveal. It is the death of Berenger. He drowns in
the bathtub.
Water. Yeah, in a bathtub.
In water?
And one interesting fact is that he has ink all over his tongue. So the plot thickens.
What a freak.
And it should be worth mentioning that we have these characters who are looking for books. And this character has ink on his tongue.
Weird. What's he
happening?
Doing? Is he eating books?
He's not allowed to suck dick, so he's sucking
sucking books.
He's sucking book. Hey, book sucker. That's the t-shirt. This is where they kind of talk about it's still not technically murder because he's just drowning in the tub.
Mm-hmm.
But this is when they mention the whole thing about like idolizing reason. You fail to see like yada, yada, yada. Oh, this is where it starts to get really fun in terms of the mystery solving, because they literally discover a secret passageway. So now we're literally digging and traveling into, would you say, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole like.
Is this where the labyrinth is?
This is where the labyrinth is.
Okay,
yeah,
I remember the labyrinth part. I don't remember them.
They stick their fingers into like the eye holes of like a skull.
Oh.
In the little altar, and it opens it up, and there's a secret passageway underneath. Yeah, and he says they're all happy. We found all the books. It is a labyrinth. There are traps. But he mentions how this library has some of the oldest books in Christendom, which I've never heard that word used or said aloud. But he's basically saying like, here's this church who has like all this incredible resources and information, and it's just being hidden away because in favor of the church's, it's sort of like having, it's like in a way a cult works, like they have their MO, they have their
agenda.
And whenever someone comes in to challenge it, it's so easily challengeable because it's rooted in bullshit. So you literally, it's them. They don't want to have access to
other resources.
Yeah, and this is the scene where our leads find the resources.
Okay. I was explaining this to somebody at work, and I was like, yeah, and she's a big reader. And I was like, yeah, and then there was like this labyrinth that was like full of books, and she goes, do they get moldy? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, labyrinths is, like underground, like dark and stuff. And I was like, I don't know.
I mean, that would make sense in a way because of like the reveal at the end when it's spoiler alert, they're touching the ink. Which I have to say, that's a pretty neat idea. It took me a second to understand what was happening. But the idea that you like turn the pages and like you use your tongue and you flip the page.
I missed that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Because Zach was like talking to me about it when I saw him on Friday. And I was like, I don't know what you mean.
It's a fun idea. But to be fair, like they don't really, I feel like they should have, obviously like we're coming off of Scream. Like the fun thing about Scream is the big ghost face reveal. Like I wish they gave it a little bit of, for lack of a better word, or I guess it's appropriate, a pulpit for this reveal.
Yeah.
Like spell it out a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying dumb it down, but it's okay to explain it.
Right.
That leads us to already our third reveal, which is the introduction of a new character. This is actually the first time that our reveals are actually referring to a person and not a death. Mm-hmm. And that is the introduction of Bernardo Gui of the Inquisition, played by F. Murray Abraham. And he's literally just there to be like, you can't defy anything I say. And he's here to suss everything out, find out who the killer is. And his word is gospel. So if you challenge him, which Billy Baskerville had done in the past, you will then be deemed a heretic and you risk imprisonment or torture and or death.
So he's an evil looking person.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks so evil.
He's just good at playing villains.
Yeah.
Between Amadeus and 13 Ghosts and he's just, he's the best.
They gave him like pointy eyebrows in this movie too, which was really.
They're like, hey, do you want us to do to your eyebrows what we've been doing to all the friar haircuts? He's like, when in Rome, why not?
When in the Abbey.
But yeah, like literally the second he gets there, it's like a whole show, which checks out for that, for these, because there is a performative nature to certain religions.
For sure.
But the first thing he does when he gets there is he goes after the first woman he sees, which is the local girl who Watson bedded and fell in love with. Says she's a witch and goes so far as to say that she's having sex with a black cat. And everyone's just like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, wow.
You should kill her.
Yeah.
Not like, what? It's just
how?
Based on what are we talking about?
How does that work? Interesting.
So yeah, it's kind of frustrating. We do get a little bit of context for the relationship between Bernardo Gui and Billy Baskerville. And basically the background is that Bernardo accused this guy of being a heretic because he translated a Greek book. And by that, it was like, oh, you can speak Greek, you must worship the devil.
Naturally.
And Billy was like, what? And like him just doing that was like, it was enough to like get him.
Well, yeah, remember,
potentially
you're not
killed.
supposed to question anything.
Yeah. But it shows. So now we have like hero and villain.
Took a long
Gloves
time
are
to get
off.
there.
It took a long. We have 10 more
time.
minutes left of this movie.
Yeah.
We've just introduced the monster. Yeah, it's funny actually that you say that because there's not even really. It's not like, oh, did you hear Bernardo Gui is on his way? Like earlier in the movie.
Well, you know, the pigeons didn't get there on time, I guess. The carrier pigeons.
Oh. Yeah, the movie production was too fast for the pigeons. So they're like, cut it. We just got to cut it. But no, now we're in a full, like the Inquisition. We're inquisiting. We're asking questions. We're setting up like official meetings. We have a room full of repressed, hateful, rejecting men who are sitting in a room together, just like
unfunny fucking people. And you know, we don't like that
the
here.
Strongest opinions.
Yeah. We like goofy here. So
yeah. And then you have this guy, Cardinal Bertrand, he's just like showing up like Liberace. Like, again, I can say this is a gay man, I think, but like these are some of the gayest looking men I've seen.
It's very gay. It's the big outfit. I mean, they're in drag, honey, you know, like
it's almost like they want to like, they're like pushing the boundary because they're like, oh, what? You want to call me gay? Well, I'm going to call you a heretic. Like what? So yeah, so they're basically these people are on trial. They're just trying to find people to blame because at the end of the day, there are murders. The murders are being covered up by this own church, and they just need to punish someone to prove a point. And that's essentially like the foundation of this movie, which then brings us to our fourth and penultimate monster reveal. And it's when Severinus, I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly, tells Billy, he's like, hey, I found that book you're looking for. It's got all the answers that you need. And like any great murder mystery, the second you, succeed, once you get to that finish line, you ultimately have to pay the price. He gets hit over the head with a giant candelabra. And we're knee deep in Act 3, where like everything is starting to boil to the top.
Severinus.
That name just like turns on all the men. They're like, oh, that's why
God.
They killed him. They're like, I can't be tempted by that name. Yep. Anus. And then we have, we set this up already, but Bernardo convinces Salvatore to confess to heresy. They do the same with Remigio, the guy with
that's
the,
who that
the
is.
fake
I
nose.
can't remember their names.
Yeah. Because apparently the torture is so bad that they're willing to give up their credibility for this, but it's going to kill them anyways. It's so.
Is Remigio the other guy, the guy that I was talking about with the fake nose?
Yes.
You know what his real name is?
What?
Helmet. Helmet Qualtinger.
The actor, or does Remigio translate to helmet?
No, the actor's name is Helmet.
That's why they killed him, because he had the word hell in his name.
No, Helmet, like, dickhead, helmet head.
Oh, that's so funny. He's the true dick of this movie.
Yeah.
Mr. Helmet Head.
Yeah.
It's too bad Billy's name wasn't Peter. Or Will. Oh,
Willie. Willie. Willie Billy.
Oh, Willie. So within all of this chaos, it leads us to the final act of the movie, and it also leads us to our final reveal.
Wow. 5
reveals in this non-horror movie has set a precedent. We're under an hour and are already wrapping it up. Like, it's actually crazy. But in our fifth and final reveal, Billy Baskerville and Watson find the blind monk who we've met. He's been just kind of like among all the monks, Jorge de Burgos. And he's up in the secret library, or down, I guess, in the secret library. And he basically has his like low key Bond villain monologue where he explains the motive of what's happening. And basically this book, which would essentially have all the answers that they're looking for, that sort of reject what the church, what this particular monastery represents, it will literally kill you. So he's poisoned the ink on these pages. So anyone who has, so anyone who has interest in finding the truth will die. So it's honestly like kind of a pretty cool concept.
It is.
It's why we see these characters with ink on their hands and tongues, because you lick your finger, you turn the page. I do think there was a little bit of, you have to really like bet on the fact that everyone's going to lick their fingers to turn the page. And that's not like an every person kind of trait.
Yeah, I feel, honestly, probably in the medieval times, a lot more people did because they weren't thinking about how gross it was to lick your fingers and touch things.
That's a good point. Especially the fact that like it's running. So like you have ink all over you and they're like, whatever, we're just dirty monks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they jumped in that pool of blood earlier in the movie,
exactly.
So whatever.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool concept, and it does open the door. It's pretty funny because this man is introduced to us as being quite old. He is blind. And the way and the ease in which he outruns them, like multiple times.
I missed that. I missed this part. Oh, man.
He just like bolts and they cannot keep up with him.
Well, he's probably, he probably has some sort of magical powers.
I mean, it's the only way to explain the logic.
Yeah. Well, hey, you lose one sense, you gain another,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, maybe he just knows this castle just inside and out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the book essentially, he says that it scared him because it's a book about comedy. It was written by Aristotle. And just to kind of repeat what we set up earlier is the idea that laughter kills fear. And without fear, there's no fear of the devil. If there's no fear of the devil, there's no reason to believe in God, thus losing them their ability to wield this power over these people. Which is so insane when you think about it, because some of them are kind of abusing their power, but a lot of the people here aren't. It's just like, it's not like they're feasting or drinking wine. It's more just like a position thing. Like the knowledge that I am technically above you is enough. I don't know. Just feels like such a waste. What a waste of a life.
I mean, they can do what they want.
Yeah.
I just think, monks and nuns and stuff, all that. I mean, obviously it's very strange. And to not like equate religion to like a cult is just the strangest thing to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, especially like in Catholicism, like there's so many rituals in Catholicism.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just very
all performance. Well, like Cody did not grow. I grew up, Roman Catholic Church, altar boy, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Cody did not. So we went to a funeral once, and he was being respectful. He did call out later. He was like, "Wow, they're so theatrical. I did not expect it to be like that."
Mm-hmm.
But we even like at one point I went up, because I've had my communion. And I was just I haven't gone to church in years, but I was kind of just playing the game, and you did we went up for communion, and Cody followed me. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. The priest chased him because he took the thing and like didn't do the sign of the cross and just walked away. I'm not exaggerating. This is at a funeral. Like we just lost a family member, and he ran after him and was like, you have to do the sign of the cross. And Cody just looked at him.
You can't eat that cracker unless you do the sign of the cross.
You need the performance and the ritual is not complete if you don't play the game. And
that is bizarre.
So crazy.
Wow.
Oh, and then at the end of the day, after this weird chase scene through the labyrinth,
Much like
Jorge,
the priest chased Cody.
Yeah, exactly. It's a one-to-one comparison. He sets himself on fire. It's like such an idiot. It's a little anticlimactic because it's like, oh,
is it? Because I don't remember it. So that
he just literally accidentally sets himself on fire.
The
and
blind
then the
guy?
whole castle. Yeah.
Oh, what a doofus!
So it burns everything. Our Billy almost dies. He makes it out, of course.
Oh, thank goodness! Did he singe his hair off?
Well, it would have, but he didn't have any hair on top to it, so he was safe. That friar haircut ended up saving his life.
Wow, that's great.
But this fire kind of sets up a revolution in a sense, because the place is going down in flames and everyone is like, oh, that feels symbolic.
Yeah.
To maybe that's God telling us like what's happening we're about to burn these 3, heretics.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something to be said that we shouldn't be doing this. So they revolt. I can't remember. I only remember if the woman is freed, but Salvatore and what's his face? I actually don't remember if they die or not.
Remigio.
And guys, it's so important to know to get these facts straight for this iconic horror movie.
You have talked me through this whole thing because I didn't know anything. I literally missed the entire climax of this movie. The
climax is the best part, I will say.
Well, that sucks because I fell asleep when they started to burn those people, and I guess I didn't wake up. I don't know.
You're just gonna have to re-rent it and watch it again.
It was free.
Oh yeah, it was on Amazon.
I did not pay for this movie.
Thanks, Jeffrey Bezos. But yeah, the locals revolt. And Bernardo Gui is like, we need to get the fuck out of here. And then there are some close calls of him getting away, but then at the end of the day, nature, God in all of his or her or their glory sets nature in motion in such a way that it's either his carriage is either going to tilt one way or the other. It's either going to go back onto the road or it's going to go off the cliff. He asks for help from the locals, and the locals are like, no. And they push him off the cliff and kill him.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Damn.
And then that's pretty much it. We get, throughout the movie, we didn't really touch on this. It's not really important. The movie is narrated by Watson, Christian Slater's character.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah. And it's just sort of like him. It's kind of an unnecessary narration, I would say. I guess it fits because it's based on the book. But a lot of it is just him reflecting on the hypocrisy of the church. And that's it.
How much he learned in that trip to the Abbey. Was he still a monk?
Yeah. I believe so. I do know that he didn't stay in touch with Billy Baskerville or the girl. Yeah,
he was supposed to marry her, though. He loved her, Danny.
Yeah. That's the thing with like all these like monks, like they're so repressed that anytime they meet like these very basic, moments of like having a crush or wanting to have sex, they're like, love, I fucking love, my whole life is now dedicated to. It's like, dude, this is what happens when you don't take small bites of something. You then drown, you choke on it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is the name of the rose.
That's it, guys.
Listeners, it's very on brand, but God bless you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Bearing with us. Let's figure out what our favorite reveals are. I'll do a quick little rundown. We have the spread eagled bloodbath. We have Berenger's
the spread eagle bloodbath. I would call that Red Wings.
That's good. We have Berenger's death in the bath, otherwise known as fuck. I got nothing. This movie broke me. I'm usually so creative.
Water. I hardly know her.
And then number 3, our third reveal is the introduction of Bernardo Gui. Gui? Oui.
Gui.
Bernardo Gui, more like they need some because they're oppressed. Our fourth reveal is when Severinus gets hit with the candelabra, otherwise known as candlesticks, more like candle dicks.
Candle dicks.
Yeah, we're really nailing it.
It was Colonel Mustard with the candlestick in the conservatory.
Yeah, there you go. And then our fifth and final reveal is when Billy, Baskerville, and Watson discover that Jorge de Burgos is the villain.
Blind men can't run.
Blind men can run.
Yeah. As we found out, yeah.
Something like otherwise known as fuck. What is this place called? A monastery?
Yeah.
The church is on fire.
We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn.
So that's it. So what was your favorite monster reveal in this overtly horrific monster-filled horror movie?
Well, I'm going to go with the only one that I remember actually watching. So that was the first one. The Red Wings.
It's a good one.
Yeah, the man in the bloodbath. It was gross.
Probably,
and like you said, I was like, okay, this is going to be pretty fucked up. And then was rather disappointed. But
yeah, I think that's a good one. Probably the best one, especially for this show. I'll just go with the final one where we get the villain reveal. I thought it was pretty interesting once they kind of started explaining what was going on. It's a unique way to kill someone, and I liked what it was trying to say about like repression and punishment for wanting to understand and be inquisitive.
Yeah,
which is ironic because we literally have the Inquisitor there.
Yeah, and that reveal is definitely the truest monster reveal too.
Totally. Yeah. It's if arguably the only
one. But we couldn't make a show out of that. So
no. Now it's time for a segment that we like to call the real monster. To be honest, I'll just throw mine out there. I have one, and it's the monastery's in-house barber.
Yeah.
He or she is making choices.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of hilarious because they're probably like, whatever I do, like, it would be vanity for them to say they don't like their haircut. So
so I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah. So maybe it's not the real monster, maybe it's the hero. Yeah, and then just power through religion. Shame on you if you do that. You're a bad person. I'm not saying religion's bad. I'm saying you're a bad person if you use religion to hurt anyone. Yeah.
That would also be one of mine. I 100% agree with that. The haircuts as well, but mostly because along with how jarring everything was in this movie, again, I don't know how you're supposed to take something seriously when all these men look so fucking silly. But also, like I talked about the effects earlier too. The effects makeup is just
that's good.
Very distracting as well. So that's what I had.
There's no poutine in this poutine.
Nope. Unfortunately not.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now is time for our last segment. Would you survive?
Well, it depends. I most likely wouldn't be there, but if I were, I would be a witch.
Yeah.
So
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like a gay man and a bisexual woman who love horror. We are fucked.
Yeah, we're done.
Like, hopefully we're there. Hopefully we are like outed as the gay man, bisexual woman of horror when Billy and Watson are there. So like we at least stand some modicum of a chance.
Yes.
But
hopefully. Otherwise, yeah.
But yeah, guys, that is the name of the rose. It is also the end of our Devils and Dicks triple feature.
You will be missed.
We are, we'll say a prayer to send you off. Name of the rose. You did us dirty, and I can only blame myself.
So if you haven't watched it, don't
Yeah, would you recommend it? I don't know. It's not a bad, like, it isn't a bad movie. It's just
not. It's just weird and confusing.
Yeah, and it's got some satisfying moments, and what it's saying is interesting. But especially if you're here because you're a horror fan and you're looking, I can't recommend it as a horror movie. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing my job.
Yeah.
What I can do is introduce you to our new and upcoming triple feature, which is simply titled Mindfucks. We're going to be doing movies that are, as the name suggests, mindfucks.
Fuck your mind.
Zach's choice, normally we would let him speak, but he's not here. So Zach chose for us. We're going to kick off with the Martin Scorsese film Shutter Island.
Uh-huh.
And then Casey, you want to introduce yours?
And my pick was Eraserhead. And I believe within this triple feature, we will also have David Lynch double feature. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. We're doing a double. I'm making up for my mistakes. So I was like, let's double down on the David. And my choice for the final pick in our Mindfucks triple feature is his masterpiece, Mulholland Drive.
I have never seen that.
Oh, I think you'll like it.
I'm excited. I've thought about watching it. Yeah, I've thought about watching it.
That one has some good monster reveals. That's going to be so fun to talk about.
Good.
And with that, let's. Where can we find you, Casey? Outside of the monastery, where are you?
Yes, when I'm not at the monastery.
Not praying?
Yeah, when I'm not at the monastery, praying and hanging out with and getting my hair cut.
Praying and gang.
I am on Instagram.
These priests are they're gay for pray. Or pray for gay for pray. What do you call it?
Oh God. I am on Instagram at WolfMotherCasey.
And you can find me on Letterboxd, Instagram, and Blue Sky at my name, Danny Salem. It's just DANNYSALEMME. 2 M's like the candy, melt in your butt, not in your hands.
All right. Where can we find the show?
We can find the show. Oh, yeah. Thank you for asking, Casey.
Yeah.
You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, and of course, like I mentioned, Patreon. I really hope you check us out. It helps us keep the lights on, and it helps incentivize us to be creative and put out more fun little works of horror, monster, movie, love, and art that the world needs more of these days.
Yes.
So yeah, check us out. Follow us on the social medias on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. We've got some good stuff there, and it's nice to just kind of, keep the conversation going there.
Yeah, tell us what you thought about tell us what you thought about the name of the roast.
Yeah, and if you get a second, we would love it if you could rate and review the show wherever you listen to us, even if it's just hitting that 5 stars or leaving a review. It means a lot. It really does help the algorithm so more people can listen to us. And yeah, that's all we have to say about that. Thank you all for listening. Now go meet some monsters.
Hell yeah.
Amen. No, let me make sure. Do I just hit stop? Stop.
Uh-oh.
Stop. It's not stopping.